What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuck Rule Takes, episode 62. They still don't deserve to have episodes named after players because the team is still kind of sucking. The 62nd episode, the nameless player episode of Tuck Rule Takes. I am Mike Sullivan. With me, as always, Liam McDade. And once again, we have our pseudo somewhat third co-host Big Al here as well. Last Tuck Rule Takes of 2022, guys. So kind of a turning of the page type of episode here. Real quick, since we didn't say it last time, last episode was the episode before Christmas. Just quick 60 seconds. How was your guys' Christmas?
Good, relaxing, exactly how I wanted it to be.
There we go. Love it. Liam, how was your Christmas?
It was about as good as I could ask for. I was able to avoid my extended family, which was the best part of it. I sat down on my ass and I drank and gambled my face off. Really, it was a fantastic day. Sun up to sundown, wasn't sober the entire time. It was glorious.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's pretty much how it is. Christmas Eve is really the night, I feel like, where people go ham. Christmas, you kind of deal with it in the afternoon and then just start again at night. But yeah, pretty much same thing here. Good day, my least favorite holiday. But what really fucked everything up. Oh yeah, definitely. What fucked everything up for Patriots fans, as we all know, Patriots lost 22-18. First time that score has ever happened, by the way. First time a game has ever ended in that
that's
score.
A fact.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, scoregami, baby.
That is a scoregami. So Patriots are just doing a bunch of firsts, a bunch of monumental things this year.
Yeah.
My opening thoughts about this game, I think I let myself be less upset because of how it ended. Because it was one of those ones where it kind of ended on like we were right there note. But when you have 70 yards of offense in the first half, and I think 2 or 3 first downs, if that, maybe 1, maybe 5 at the most. This team might suck, guys. That is what I was thinking to start it.
Talk me off the ledge. Telling you.
Please talk me back from the ledge.
Let me just jump right into this one here. I don't know who to point blame to. I'm trying to blame deflect, and I don't know who, because I want to blame Mac, but he fucking killed it in the second half. And overall, he had a pretty damn good game.
Yeah,
the offense was just anemic in the first half. So many missed opportunities. If we could put up one touchdown or hit some extra points, we're far more in the game than we were at the end of it. He made some incredible throws again after a first half where I'm like, this is terrible. He looks terrible. The team looks terrible.
Yep.
We get that sideline throw late in the game to Kendrick Bourne, just dots the eye. I'm like, shit, Mac, come on now.
Yep.
And it all comes back into favor. The Patriots storm back. The defense looks fantastic. And then, just like the last game, when you have hope, when your heart is filled with love, something really stupid happens. And you're just like, well, that happened again. All right.
It's just our
so
life
infuriating.
now.
Yeah, it is.
It's our life.
Al, were you as all over the place as I was? Because I feel like I was at a funeral for my greatest rival. I felt great and I felt sad.
There was a brief moment in that game where I said to myself, they might do this. They might pull this off, and then they're 8-7. Then they can split the last 2 weeks, and then they got a shot. But then I realized, oh wait, this is the 2022 New England Patriots I'm talking about. So let's think about this, right? This is the perfect just synopsis, perfect snapshot of the Patriots season. First half, they let the Bengals kill them, and I mean kill them in the first half. Up and down the field, Joe Burrow's looking like an MVP candidate.
Trenton? Who is Trenton Irwin?
Sounds like a made-up Madden name. That's what that sounds
literally.
Like.
That's a creative player.
It sounds like Steve Irwin's other son that's going to hunt crocodiles after. But anyways, so then second half, right now the tides start to turn. Marcus Jones pick 6. Shout out to Marcus Jones because he is the MVP this year. as far as like unexpected guys.
Clearly, I was favoring the wrong Jones.
Might not play this weekend, but we'll get into that.
Yep, exactly, which would bring a tear to my eye. Then, like Liam mentioned, they drive down the field. Mac Jones, beautiful pass to Kendrick Bourne in the right corner of the end zone. Hashtag play KB.
I'm sitting in a puddle just thinking about it.
So good.
Hashtag play KB because he should have been playing the whole year.
Yeah.
And then
clean 100 yards. That's just awesome. I love when players get a flat 100 yards. I'm like, nice.
Right. And then and not only it is, but not only that, right? Then think about this. It's 22-12. It's 3rd and 29. We're thinking to ourselves, all right, this game's about to be over because they're going to turn the ball over all this. All of a sudden, Mac Jones just hucks it down the field. Scotty Washington, a practice squad member coming up because we had
tight end,
like Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith basically out. Scotty Washington, like the ball's hit out of his hand. It's right into Jacoby Myers' hands, and he walks into the end zone.
And that's a miracle play. And shit like
the whole time.
Yeah, you're like, they're coming back. No one tips a pass for a touchdown unless they're winning the game.
And then, right, the Bengals have the ball. It's a 3rd down. Matt Judon, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, strips the ball out of Jamar Chase's hands. Patriots recover. They bring it all
drop back in coverage too. When does
Judon? You're bringing me back. I'm so excited now. Let's go. Keep going.
Now,
do the Patriots win this time around?
Well,
don't ruin the end.
It's 22-18. They drive down the field. They're at the 5-yard line, and I'm saying to myself, please let this be different. For once, please let this be different. But then, unfortunately, the twisted part of my brain, the pessimistic side of my brain said, you fool. You know how this is going to end this year. You know what's going to happen. Next play, Ramondre Stevenson carries the ball, fumbles it, Bengals recover, and that pretty much put a damper into any hopes of them coming back.
Second fumble of the game for him, by the way. Second fumble. That's starting to be an issue.
So it really do be your own, though. Dude carried us all season, and now all of a sudden it's like he's completely ruining games for us.
But again, this is the perfect snapshot of their season. They give us a reason not to believe. Then they start being competitive. And then they start doing a little bit of good. And then they go right back downhill. They just go flat. And then they just rip our hearts out. And then it's the same cycle every week. And I heard this on the radio, and I know there are some takes out there that are bad, but this is a good take. The last 20 years, the Patriots found ways to win those games. Now they're seemingly finding ways to lose them. And creatively
too.
Very
give them props.
Terribly.
Give them props. Where it's due.
The biggest loser. That's what we're calling the Patriots right now, the biggest losers. But
if again, you're worst.
It was a fun game. Do I think they deserve to win the game? No, but could they have won the game? Yeah, obviously. It was right there for them. So it is what it is.
I don't
Honestly,
know.
the whole game was just a tease. It was like getting an OTPHJ from a stripper. I'm like, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And then it just falls apart. Like,
the whole thing going up to the end, I felt the opposite, Al. The little voice in my head was like, yo, this is it. We're doing it. This is when it turns around. Yo. It's like, we're at the 5. Like, what? There's no way. There's no way that we're not going to score here. They've been moving the ball.
What could go wrong?
Mac is chucking it down on the left sideline, the right sideline, deep over the middle. He's doing little dipsy-do things that are incompletions that should have been fumbles. He's doing all these things, but it just comes down to, like Liam said, it do be your own. It is the Patriots. That was the what I will agree, Al, you are 100% correct. It is a microcosm of the entire season.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
It's like my favorite.
It's a big word for you, Al.
Yep. The Patriots screwed the Patriots. I'll go Vince McMahon. Brett screwed Brett. The Patriots screw the Patriots. That's what they do. They bring you back. They start themselves not even at -1. They start themselves not even in the race, not even at the stadium for the race.
Yeah.
Everybody else is running. The Patriots come in. Oh shit, hold on, let me get in. It's like they hit like the Mario Kart mushroom and they just start going. They're lapping everybody. And you're like, holy shit, they're going to do it. You know what? Because fucking stupid optimists like me, it's like, you know why I keep thinking that this team might do shit? Because I've seen them do it. We saw them do it for a quarter and a half on Saturday. We saw them come back. What a team looks like when they're throwing the ball, when there's a little bit of blocking, when there was no run game. I mean, shit. Stevenson had 30 yards. The next closest one was Bourne with 29. So like, okay,
run, by
Bourne.
the way.
Remember
the end
him?
arounds.
Great run. Great run. Remember the fucking end arounds. This is what we fucking said. Jet sweeps, end arounds, fucking do things.
I don't
But
want to
it's
say
just-
me and Mike should be offensive coordinators for the Pats, but me and Mike should be offensive coordinators for the
I
Pats.
will say we would be better. You know why?
That
First
would
of all,
be entertaining as fuck.
there would have been a fucking flea flicker by now. I
was
guarantee
literally
you that.
just about to say, I know you're throwing in a flea flicker.
This game, and Max said it in one of his press things. Someone asked him about the game coming up against the Dolphins. He was like, "This is it. You got to go out there and just sling it. This is the last game of the year for all intents and purposes. If you lose, break out the fucking flea flicker. Like play action is awesome. You know what the best play action play is? A fucking flea flicker. Because you go deep in the line, you turn around, you toss it. It's that nice casual. Oh, here we go. Throw. But knowing the Patriots, Stevenson will toss it back. It'll bounce off Mac's head and it'll fucking, I don't know. The Dolphins guy will pick it up and run it back for a touchdown. But like, it's just this, you're right now. This entire second half of the game was the Patriots season. Not like it was the season, like the season's over now, but like it was just the season in the sense that, like you said, they give you chances, they show you what they can do when, you know, things are kicking on almost all cylinders. And then it's just that crucial mistake, which, like you said, normally the Patriots find ways to win these games. They wait for other teams to make these mistakes. And I've seen this take everywhere too. The Patriots have become the team that the old Patriots used to wait for to make the mistakes. That's who the Patriots are right now. And it sucks.
We're also a victim of our own success too. We saw, you know, them come back against the Peyton Manning led Broncos down 24-3 at halftime to come back and win when idiot Wes Welker fumbled the punt. We had the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. The only overtime Super Bowl victory came to us down 28-3. So we are a victim of our own success. Looking at the score and going, gee, they're not even, you know, 3 touchdowns away. We got this. That's easy. And then they get 2 touchdowns. You're like, oh, we're so in this. And then, of course, crashing back to reality.
But there's a difference. There's a difference, Liam. Those teams had a legit offensive coordinator and had legitimate offensive weapons. This team does
I don't
not
know if
have
it's the offensive coordinator, though.
Who is it? Who would you blame then?
That's the thing. I don't know.
Everybody.
I don't exactly. I think everyone just sucks. Because like in the second half, like the play calling was great. Kendrick
once
Bourne
again scoreless.
Worked.
This defense once again held the team scoreless. I think this is what 3 games in a row.
Yeah,
or is it 2 or 3?
And honestly, I feel so bad
like
for this defense. Like Marcus Jones balling out of his mind. Probably McCourty's last year. Dude's out there sacrificing himself. He would lie, cheat, beg, borrow, and steal to get a ring in his last year. He's out there balling to no avail. Like I said, Judon's dropping back in coverage and stripping people for fumbles. What more can you ask for?
But it's not the offensive coordinator's fault that you choose to include arguably their best player on offense 4 months into the season when the season's about 4.5 months, right?
Who's that?
You're going to argue Kendrick Bourne's the best player?
Offensively, like everything that's going on for receivers, I'm talking just receivers right now. Receivers-wise, I think Kendrick Bourne is the number 1 receiver on this team, yes.
I'm going to argue you should be locked in a cage.
I think that to me goes to Jacoby Myers. He's still my guy.
Well,
Jacoby
okay,
Myers.
I'm going to say Parker. Fuck all you.
Parker can't stay healthy. How
doesn't
can you
matter.
have a number 1 receiver that can't? Doesn't matter.
When he plays, he's damn good. He's the best player.
Yes, but listen to what you just said. When he plays, that means he has to be on the field, Liam. He hasn't been on the field for 3 weeks.
He played over 10 games. He hasn't done that in like 5 years. I will take that.
I know. Remember we went over that, all his injuries and all that shit.
I get it. He's going to miss a couple games, but like he's sick, so it doesn't matter.
Not a couple
concussion.
Games.
He's not even sick.
I bet if the Patriots were good, he'd probably be playing. But like he's probably like, who really gives
the Patriots are in the midst of a playoff hunt. They're in the midst to make the playoffs.
Yeah, do you think they're going to make the playoffs, Al?
Yeah, you're goddamn right. I do.
Do I think they're going to?
You are goddamn right.
Do I think they'll make it interesting? Yes. But here's the thing, right? Okay, so Kendrick Bourne, the reason I'm saying he's your number 1 receiver right now, Mike, you can make the argument that Jacoby Myers is a good slot receiver. I can give you that. He's a very good slot receiver.
That's where we start.
Very, very
good.
That's
the baseline.
Very, very good slot receiver. And I want him back. Don't misconstrue that. I want Jacoby Myers back on the Patriots in 2023.
I want him dead.
Headline. Big Al does not want Jacoby Myers back. That's all that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Proceed in your web reply.
Look for that tweet on the Tuck Rule Takes page later.
I'm gonna do it right now.
Guys.
I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send out that tweet right now and say like next you speak among keep talking your blasphemy.
The
your
lies.
Blasphemy.
The lies.
I'm tweeting it right now.
That.
Keep talking.
That's so mean. That's so mean.
Big Al wants Jacoby out.
That's so mean. Wow. I can defend myself. That's okay. All right, but anyway, so I want Jacoby Myers back in New England, and this fool is just making up lies. But whatever, it is what it is.
Yep. Now you're covering his tracks. That's fine.
I mean, you didn't hear what I said, but then again, you never listen to a thing I say. So
no, why would I?
I was going to say, why would I? When I give you good advice, too, you don't listen to it. But Kendrick Bourne is a guy that Mac Jones loves to throw to. He's a guy that we see can create separation. He's a guy that can make tough catches. He's a guy that can extend the pylon. A guy that can extend drives.
I agree. You're preaching to the congregation. I like him.
Right, and I do too. But the thing is, the reason I'm saying he's your number one receiver right now is because Devontae Parker can't stay healthy. Your boy Nelly, sorry, he's not a number one receiver. That's just not happening. Tyquan Thornton is a guy. Well, you know it's true. Tyquan Thornton is a guy that I think is going to be good, but he needs some time to develop. And we've seen that. We saw it on Saturday. Had a ball in his hands, a beautiful throw by Mac Jones, just lets it drop. A veteran receiver, a good veteran receiver, catches that. So that's another issue. And then who are their other receivers? Like, who else can you realistically put up there? So that's why I'm saying Kendrick Bourne, you have him involved in the offense. Mike alluded to it, the jet sweeps. You can use him in different ways. But, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Oh, it's an ugly scene.
Yeah, it's ugly. So I get what you're saying about Kendrick Bourne. I think he is not even he's up there. He should be playing more. It's very clear that him.
Yeah, we've said that all year. That's not a debate.
Very clear that him and Mac have a connection. Yeah. So I mean, the fact that he's not that in Liam, to go to your point, I think that is one of the bigger indictments on Matt Patricia. Like, even if you don't like the play calls, or like,
is that a Matt Patricia call though, or is that a Bill Belichick call?
You have to think that it's a Matt Patricia call because Bill Belichick.
It's got to be signed off by Bill. If Bill wants him to play, he would play.
Does it though? Does that happen? Because there's times.
You think Bill doesn't have final say in this bitch? Bill's the overlord.
If he does, then you got to put 100% of the blame on everything going on this season on him, because then he has the ultimate final say on the plays that are being called.
If Kendrick Bourne was a regular in the rotation, does that win us 2 more games? I don't think so.
No. See, that's the ultimate what if game where I end up just kind of putting my hands up and going, who knows? Because you don't know. Probably not. Most likely because the Patriots would probably still find a way to lose those games. So
yeah, he's great, but he's not a difference maker. If we had Devontae Parker and he wasn't playing, or Devontae Adams and he wasn't playing, then I'd be like, what the hell's up with this? But it's Kendrick Bourne here. Like he's good. He's above average. I like him, but he doesn't win us games. It's cool. He went out and balled as he should. He's a good player.
He can't give you the opportunity to win games because he's not on the field as much as he should be.
But if say we played him every snap this entire season, say he's the only goddamn receiver, we have 4 Kendrick Bournes out there running routes. We're not winning more games.
But your offense is more productive because you have guys that
I don't think it is.
To throw to.
I don't think it is.
I think so.
So I
will put a lot of faith in Kendrick Bourne.
More than any of these other receivers.
He had like 700 yards last year. That's, it's underwhelming.
But did you watch how he played? Did you watch the production?
Yeah, I did. I watched every game.
In the Dallas game, in the Cleveland game, in the Tennessee game, in the Jets game,
in the Saints game. He was great too. Yeah.
He was.
What about earlier this season? The fumbling problems he had. Granted, it's tough to get in rhythm if you're not playing a lot, but still.
Right. Yeah, he's going to make mistakes, and I understand that. I understand that, and he should. He should. But here's the thing. You just can't you can't do those things like make the good plays and then obviously fumble and drop some easily catchable balls if you're not on the field. So if you're not on the field, how are you going to be able to prove whether you should be on the field or not? Because you're late.
He was on the field and he fumbled a couple times.
Yes, but here's the thing. If you're late by 5 minutes, you should be getting less snaps per week than, everybody else when you were one of the more productive receivers in a season where you went 10-7 and went to the wild card game.
If you're late by 5 minutes, you should be shipped off to the Amazon to survive on your own. This is the Patriots. We run a militant schedule, and that's the way it always has been. Just because Tom Brady isn't here now, everything's lackadaisical. No, this is Bill's house. If you lose, I'm surprised Jacoby Myers is still on the team. Jacoby Myers shouldn't be allowed to see his family ever again. Bill should have him chained up in a basement where he feeds him through a tube. There should be, and that's the way the Patriots run. It is strict, militant schedule. If you're 5 minutes late, you don't care that much. You're getting paid millions to show up 5 minutes early. If you're not 5 minutes early, you are late. Get fucked.
Al, retort.
I have a question for you, Liam. So we were talking about this, right? And Mike, I need you to correct me on this if I'm wrong. Ramondre Stevenson, he fumbled the ball with like less than a minute left to potentially go ahead and win the game. Correct?
He did.
Correct.
He did.
Correct? Yep. Okay. Bill Belichick in the past, right? If this was, say, 10 years ago, we'll even say 5 years ago, would he or would he have not probably bashed the player, not maybe in public, but behind the scenes been like, okay, you're in the doghouse, whatever. He probably would have done that, right?
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what Bill Belichick said in his press conference when asked about the question?
No, I don't listen to the press conferences because what does Bill Belichick have to say in the press conference?
We're
on to Miami.
Bill Belichick actually defended Ramondre Stevenson and said that it was forward progress. So my point to you is this. I'm not saying that's lackadaisical, but there have definitely been some changes from the way that things happened 2 decades ago to right now. No, don't even give me that. Because guess what?
I disagree.
If this was 5 years ago, Ramondre Stevenson would be on the bench. He would not see playing time for probably 3 games. He probably would have been traded.
We've seen this before.
We've
seen this before.
Hold on. Remember Stephen Ridley? Remember how good he was?
That's exactly where I'm going with this.
Remember when he started fumbling? What happened?
Yeah.
He got put in the doghouse.
Jonas Gray, my boy Jonas Gray.
When he started fumbling, he finished out the season. He played the rest of the games except for the Jonas Gray game. And then what happened to Jonas Gray? He didn't start the next week. Who started? Stephen Ridley. Who started the week after that? Stephen fucking Ridley. Who kicked in the door in the game after that? Stephen Ridley. And then who got cut in the offseason? Stephen Ridley.
Okay, so you literally just
yeah, but we're not going to cut Ramondre Stevenson.
Do you think, Al, that this probably a question a little bit more for you because it kind of goes with your point. Yes, Belichick said all the good things about him and all that stuff in the little press thing. Do you think that it's more by necessity that he's not going to cut back on Stevenson's playing time? But with Bourne, he can do that with Bourne, or him and Patricia, whoever, the brain trust, they can do it with Bourne because you got Aguilar, Parker, Myers, you have the other guys out there. So I think that's really what it comes down to. Belichick
it's also
would probably
different positions too.
Belichick would exactly. Belichick would love to probably punish, run Stevenson through the ringer in there. He also sees one of two things. He sees that Stevenson is probably pound for pound the Patriots' best offensive player. And two, that's really where they have to go through offense. Necessity, Damian Harris is, nicked up with his hamstring and everything. Then you got 2 rookies. So you kind of have to keep him in there. You don't want to kill his confidence. Kendrick Bourne, this is the last year of his contract. I mean, he's in a crowded room, regardless of one more. Yeah. I always get him and Aguilar confused. But I mean, I think it's just one of those things where it's purely circumstantial. And also Belichick has changed the way that he coaches. I think he's a little bit more, not his philosophies, not what he believes, but how he goes about to get to the final product. I think the final decision, he doesn't do it the same way he did 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. Yeah, I think that's it. But I do think that if you had a healthy Damian Harris and a James White, rest in peace, or if Harris, one of the Harris brothers back there was ready to go, or Pierre Strong, then maybe Stevenson would get more, more reprimanded for his actions. But I think right now, Belichick's probably like, you know what, my team is going through enough shit. I'm not going to ruffle feathers and punish someone that everybody on the offense, everybody on the team has said. I mean, I think Adrian Phillips said something along the lines of, there's really nothing to say to him. I'm not going to beat him down because he's been one of our best players. We all believe in him. So I think that's what it comes down to.
But in that example, Mike, and I think there's some truth to that, which I will give you credit for, even though you bashed me on Twitter and I bashed you right back, but that's a different story. But anyways,
I know nothing of that. I don't run the Tuck Rule Takes Twitter account. I can't help what they tweet out. That's our business guys. I'll get you the number to them.
Hey, Mike, you know what rhymes with hit? Bullshit, because that's what you're talking right now. But anyways, so now with that, right?
We're a rapper all of a sudden.
Spit bars, baby.
What's the thing? What's the thing, Al?
I'll tell you the thing. Damn it. Let me talk. So with that, the running back situation, you played, correct me if I'm wrong, but you played Pierre Strong and Kevin Harris in the Cardinals game when Stevenson got hurt, and you were fine in that game. Now, I know the Cardinals were an inferior opponent.
Yep.
Right, he had to, but you still saw he could very realistically think, you know what? Ramondre maybe needs to sit. I can play these two rookie running backs. They won't fumble the ball, and I got two of them to pick from, along with this offense. With the wide receiving core, this is all I'm saying. Again, Nelson Aguilar hasn't really done much this year. Hasn't done a lot.
Hasn't done nothing.
I'm not saying he hasn't done anything, but he hasn't done a lot. There's a difference. Tyquan Thornton has had one or two decent games, but other than that, not really a lot. His big game was Cleveland. What was his other really big game?
Nothing. I said one.
Thank you. Thank you for proving my point. I said one or two. I know.
Games. No, I agreed. Yeah, it's one.
Thank you.
It is flat out one. Okay. All right. Two implies that he had more than one game.
Devontae Parker, I will give him credit where credit is due. When he's played, he looks like he can be a number one receiver, but great. He's not healthy enough to be a number one receiver. That's all I'm saying here.
Two games.
How many games has he played this year? Can someone check that? One of you guys check that. How many games has he played this year?
I have a question. Liam, check that. I have a question. What are we? This is my issue with Kendrick Bourne. We and so many people spend way too much fucking time talking about it. He is a nice piece at the end of the day. That's what he is. He's not a number one because to be honest, the Patriots don't have a true number one receiver because Devontae Parker has been hurt. When he does play, he shows like he is the number one. But the whole Kendrick Bourne conversation, I'm sick of it because whenever he makes one play, it's a litany of tweets, a litany of talk show topics where it's like, oh, you got to play Kendrick Bourne.
Parker has played 9 games.
He's 9 out of okay. Wait a minute. Time out. You said he played 9 games?
Yeah.
Liam, their record is 7-8. What's 15 minus 9?
Well, actually.
Is it 4?
4? No. Well, hold on. 6. I'm looking at this. He missed the Steelers game. He missed the Jets game. And he missed the last 2 games. So, yeah, 4. He's missed 4.
There's no way that math adds up. Then he had to have played in 11 games this year. Because that's 4 you're missing. Basic math, 15 minus 11 equals 4. So if he's played in 9 games, that means he's missed 6 of them.
All right, hold on.
Simple math.
Hold on.
Okay. While Liam
he's played. Yeah, he's played in 12 games.
Okay, fine. Fine. Okay, fine.
Okay. Sorry. I was like going game by game counting instead of just going on Football Reference and checking.
Your math still doesn't add up, but it's whatever. I don't expect
my math doesn't add up. 12 games.
12 minus 4, so he missed 3 games.
All right, it doesn't matter. I told you I was counting by game the first time. I'm doing manual counting instead of looking at a number on a computer. I'm also trying to talk to you, jarheads, so I'm trying to figure this out here.
No, Al is the only jarhead saying that he hates Jacoby Myers. He is the only one saying
you're
that.
Running.
We are a huge Jacoby Myers.
Huge, very pro Jacoby Myers, and he comes on here on this tirade. Granted, I want Jacoby Myers dead, so I don't care.
This is my last appearance on this podcast. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Well, of the
why
year,
don't you go on Jacoby Myers podcast? How about that?
Oh wait, he doesn't have one because he's too busy being the number one receiver for the Patriots.
He's too busy throwing it to Chandler Jones. What he's doing.
Yeah, well, I mean that. Yeah, that I don't even want to talk about that week. That's every week. There's just more bullshit. So I don't.
Clearly we have a lot of feelings and blame, and we're just shooting it all over the place.
Yeah, the blame. Yeah, we are just shooting it all over the place. What it comes down to, I think. Kind of looking at it, I don't think if we're going to have the blame pie here, I think of all the people, and since we're actually talking about players, the team right now, not coaching, because the coaching will lead us into what we're going to talk about after with kind of what's going on with coaching, then the Dolphins game coming up. But I don't think the person that I think deserves the least amount of blame here is Mac Jones. I'm not saying he deserves no blame, but there's a lot of there's a lot of talk about, in fact, I saw it on, I think it was the Get Up or something like that. One of those bullshit talk shows that like aren't, your big four talk shows. And they were like, should the Patriots keep or dump Mac Jones? And I'm like, I get that he has definitely taken a bit of a step back, which, by the way, I actually have stats to prove that he really hasn't, because over this same stretch, these 5 games last year, Mac Jones was 87 of 138, 980 yards, 5 touchdowns, 5 picks. This year, he's 108 of 174, 1,164 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So while the team looks shitty, Mac Jones is actually doing better statistically than he was last year with a worse fucking team. And if you're like, oh, well, Mike, who were the teams they were playing? They played the Bengals, Raiders, Cardinals, Bills, and Vikings this year when he put up those numbers. Last year, he played the Bills twice, the Colts, the Titans, and the Falcons. So this year's competition was definitely a lot more difficult as well. So I don't want to hear that Mac Jones is the problem. Is he not? Is he making mistakes?
He's not dynamic.
Yes.
He's not going out there and carrying the team on his own.
No. And honestly, I wouldn't even expect him to. And it's the same shit. People forget what were people saying about Trevor Lawrence last year? Bust. What were people saying about Joe Burrow before he went, Joe Cool and all that stuff? Oh yeah, he's a nice quarterback, but can he do whatever? And then all of a sudden he started putting his team on his back. Josh Allen, everybody's fucking darling, sucked for his first couple of years, his first few years.
More
not
picks
good.
Touchdowns.
Not good. And now all of a sudden he's the second coming of Peyton Manning in the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Mahomes, Josh Allen thing. So the Mac Jones shit, he is still in his second year. Calm down. Everybody needs to calm down about him. He was also hurt for a few games. So that kind of fucked up the whole thing. He has an offensive coordinator, or I won't even talk.
Had that weird Bears game too, where he played like a drive,
which was 2 or 3 series,
which was done.
Which embarrassing.
That I will rip into Belichick about, because I think that was one of the dumbest
terrible.
things
he's ever
done.
That happen. 100%.
One of the dumbest things he's ever done. But I just. Mac Jones, 21 of 33, 240 yards, 2 touchdowns. I don't know what else Mac Jones can do. He has receivers who, and I don't know, Al, you probably heard it. Liam, you probably didn't. They asked Troy Brown, who's the wide receivers coach, about, spacing and wide receivers doing all that. And Troy Brown said, it's not to paraphrase, it's not a major issue. It's just paying attention to details. You had all the people who know what they're talking about, the reporters. Oh, it's not major issues. You had Greg Bedard posting pictures of receivers running into each other and all that. Then you had people who have actually played the game, who know what they're talking about, i.e. Matt Chatham, who I follow, who seems to always have like kind of at least a commonsensical view about things. And he said it really is just details. It is just the fact that the rub routes or routes that are supposed to cross each other or things like that, they're not being run precisely enough. So that's why you have receivers running into each other.
They're running them at the same depth. There should be one guy going shallow, one guy going deep.
But the thing is, and of course, a lot of times there have been routes where people aren't meant to like cross routes or rub or whatever, and they're just in the same area, which is not good. But a lot of the times it is just receivers not running crisp routes, lackadaisical getting into their route. Jonnu Smith last week against the Raiders, when Mac did the touchdown where he jumped over the line, Jonnu Smith fucking gets to the line, starts pointing around for no damn reason. Like, get to the line. It does not matter if you don't like. I'm not going to talk about that game again. But my thing with Mac Jones is just there's what else is he supposed to do? I'm not saying he's perfect, but what else is he supposed to do with an offensive line? He has a turnstile at left tackle. It's all crazy on the right side. He really just has Andrews and Cole Strange as your two, stalwarts. Everybody else sucks. What's he supposed to do?
I'd argue on Wanu.
Quick side note on details.
Always forget about him. Yep.
Nelson Aguilar knows how to run a crossing route. I seem to recall in the Super Bowl against the Patriots when he was on the Eagles, him high-fiving Torrey Smith as they both ran across the middle. And
the fact that you're an Eagles fan is the biggest red flag I have
I just wanted to point out. I'm saying anyone who can run a crossing route and toss a high five mid route to his boy and still catch one of 13 passes in the Super Bowl. Guy knows how to run at the appropriate depth.
That is like dating a German guy with a small little mustache and being like, he might be Hitler. That's kind of a red flag. He turns out to be
but
Hitler.
He's not.
Oh my God. Yeah. He can run the route, but he can't catch the ball when he gets to where he needs to be.
He had 13 catches in the Super Bowl.
I'm not talking about the Super Bowl. No, but honestly though, with Mac Jones, like I said, do not get me wrong. He has not been perfect. It has been a catastrophe for this entire offense. But when Mac Jones has people coming at him all the time, when he has receivers 3rd and 4, once he gets back to his drop, no one's looking back at him. When he has receivers not running routes that they're supposed to do, when he's trying to audible at the line, audible into a screenplay, and the receiver he's trying to audible it with just ends up running away. So Mac Jones doesn't know what to do. It's a sack. Like, where do you guys stand on Mac Jones right now?
I think his mobility is fantastic. Honestly, like that Jacoby Myers touchdown, stellar. Like he honestly is far more mobile. And that's just one of the things that like I noticed. I'm like, all right, like this dude's he's got an extra dimension to his game that I love. That was one of my big talking points on the show. I just wanted to throw it out there. Love how like aware he is in the pocket for somebody who gets sacked a ton, and you can't blame him when you said his left tackle's a friggin' turnstile. You're going to get sacked a lot. But goddamn, that dude can make a play at the same time.
Wholeheartedly agree. Yeah. He has shown, I think if there's anything that he has gotten better at, it's that. It's kind of moving the pocket, running a little bit, throwing on the run, things that he can do, kind of knowing when to take off more. I think that's one thing, Liam, we both said last year that we wanted to see this year. We wanted to see him kind of take off more from the pocket. Yeah. But yeah, Al, where do you stand with him? Because I know that like Jacoby Myers, you do not like Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Wow.
Explain yourself,
look at that little smirk on your face. Look at that. Wipe that smirk off your face.
I'm thinking about something else. I'm not even smirking at that. I was thinking about a joke from earlier in the day.
Oh, you're such a liar. You're such a liar. You're a liar. But
it was a good joke.
4-point plan to make Mac Jones successful in year 3, and it's very, very simple.
This guy should be selling insurance.
I know. Here are the notes. Number 1, to beef up your offensive line, signed Orlando Brown Jr. and Mike McGlinchey. Solidify the tackles. Then you have Nwenu and Strange and Andrews in the middle. Your offensive line is that much better. Boom, done. That's step 1.
Okay.
Step 2, bring in Bill O'Brien officially to be your offensive coordinator. Give Mac Jones the guy that he won a national championship with, that has worked with quarterbacks, that has worked within the Patriots offense, and knows what he's doing offensively. Boom, done. Number 3, for a quarterbacks coach, so I'm not talking offensive coordinator, for a quarterbacks coach, you get one of 2 guys. You either get Cliff Kingsbury, because he's going to get fired from Arizona, or you get Frank Wright, who's sitting on his ass at home because he couldn't figure out the Colts. If you bring in one of those 2 guys, I would love
Nick Foles to a Super Bowl.
So, and then you get a guy that's actually a quarterback and actually a guy that played quarterback in the NFL and knows what it takes. That's number 3. Last step, number 4, give Mac Jones, nice middle finger, by the way, give Mac Jones a legitimate number 1 receiver in either DeAndre Hopkins or Devontae Adams. They both are going to be disgruntled.
I was going to bring up Devontae Adams. I was going to bring him up. Yep.
That's your solution?
Devontae Adams or DeAndre Hopkins.
Why don't we just bring Randy Moss and T.O. out of retirement too?
Hey, my turn. Zip it. So with that, right, you actually have a number 1 receiver, because think about one thing, right? Josh Allen, when he got really good, was when he had Stephon Diggs in the offense with him in year 3. Typically in year 3, and this is confirmed by someone at 98.5 The Sports Hub that I have a good relationship with, Joe Murray. He confirmed this. In year 3.
Name drop.
Love the name drops. That is a situation where when you bring in the number 1 receiver, that's where you see a rise in the quarterback in the NFL. So offensive line, good offensive coordinator, decent quarterback coach, get a number 1 receiver. I can guarantee you, because I want one more year for Mac Jones to prove it, because I know that he has it in him. You give him all 4 of those things, if you can, or 3 of the 4, then he will make a big jump in 2023. I'm telling you right now.
Liam, just to tell you, the Devontae Adams thing is possible, because if Devontae Adams gets traded after June 1st, The Raiders, their dead money is only 7.8 million. That's it. But so it's not a crazy thing. His cap hit is only 14
Josh
and a half.
McDaniels is conspiring to come back to the Patriots, and he ships Davante over and then quits and comes back to the Patriots. That just seems remarkably unrealistic.
No, because Davante Adams went to the Raiders to specifically play with Derek Carr.
Yes.
Derek Carr has been, it actually came out today as we're recording this. Yep. It came out a few hours ago. They sent him home. They didn't just say that he's not going to, they literally sent him home. Stid the kid. Good old Jarrett Stidham's going to be the starter for the Raiders. Sucks. So they're fucked. So what would you do? What happens if Davante Adams demands a trade? He says, I'm not going to play. I'll say that Davante Adams would do it. I can see him doing it. He almost did it with the Packers with the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. So if he says that, what happened if, you have Belichick call McDaniels up? Hey, I see what's going on. What do you want for him? Would you give up a first round pick for Davante Adams? You're goddamn right I would, because it's probably going to be in the middle of the first round somewhere. So of course, get rid of that. Maybe a third round pick in the next year's draft or something. The Patriots have a bunch of picks. They always have
you'd have to give up 2 firsts for Davante Adams.
Would you give up 2 firsts for Davante Adams?
I'd give up my firstborn son for Davante Adams. That's not the point.
Assuming he ends up restructuring his contract, because he's due like $44 million.
Yeah, I mean, like, we can speak in hypotheticals all we want. Like, let's trade for Stephon Diggs too and Justin Jefferson while we're at it. But that's not how the fucking league works. I get it. It like the puzzle pieces kind of make sense. Where like he very well could be disgruntled. He did ask for a trade out of Green Bay. I still don't see it, because obviously Jarrett Stidham isn't the long-term answer. You like to think that after the season, McDaniel's going to sit him down and go, all right, that sucked. I know he's your boy, but we're going to get you a better quarterback. Hell, they can bring Aaron Rodgers over to the Raiders if they really want to.
Talks of Tom Brady going over there.
I don't think Davante wants Tom Brady if he's smart.
I wouldn't want to. He can't even get the ball to Mike Evans. You think he's going to be able to get the ball to
he's
Davante
really
Adams?
Good at checkdowns, though. Really, really good at checkdowns.
Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
Hunter Renfrow season.
True. Actually, that fits the mold of the Tom Brady, the white slot receiver. He might be over there in a second. But it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Especially
yeah, I get it. It's more of a, and I think
it's a fun hypothetical, because if it does happen, goddamn.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Even if you can't get one of those two guys, I get what Al's saying, where you got to get him some sort of number one receiver, because
a more reasonable or more like, I guess like more likely scenario, like we get somebody like Adam Thielen, like, who's like toward the end of his contract, like in the almost twilight of his career type thing. That's something I see as more realistic, and even then it's underwhelming.
They're gonna have a bunch of money to spend. So
here, I'll give you guys this. I'm gonna give you 3 names. I just want you to tell me quick yes or no if you'd want them here in New England, and if you think they'd be a number 1 option. All free agents. Number 1, Alan Lazard.
No.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. So no,
doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
I'm slightly aroused.
Okay. Number 2, Mecole Hardman.
No.
Yes.
What, Mike? You wouldn't want Mecole Hardman?
Why? What can he do that maybe Tyquan Thornton or Nelson Aguilar can't do?
Outrun a defense and actually catch the ball.
Tyquan Thornton.
And
he did drop that one.
Nelly's pretty fast too.
That's why that's the same thing with Alan Lazard. Like, it doesn't do it. That just seems like another duplicate to, like,
you can never have enough speed though. Receiver. Like, in the wise words of that dead asshole Al Davis, speed kills. Like, I think it'd be cool, but he's not dynamic catching the ball either. He's no sure-handed receiver.
But anyway, Al, who else? Who's your third guy?
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Oh, no.
I know Al likes him because you brought him up before when we were doing that. I like Juju. I don't. The thing is, for me, when I'm looking at that, none of these guys are guys that teams have to really account for in their game plan. With Hardman, it's not really him. It's just the speed aspect. Yeah. That's what it is. Because at least with people like Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, DeAndre Hopkins, it's like you're accounting for them because they can catch it no matter what. They can run any route. They can do anything. Those three guys. And I look too, Al, the free agency class, if you were looking at it for wide receivers, not great going into this year. So the only way the Patriots are going to get something is if they're going to trade for someone. So I would go into this offseason. I don't think that they're going to really make any splash there unless it's some sort of, draft day trade deadline thing, which I could see maybe that happening. They trade, their first round pick and a couple whatever for someone. But I don't know. Ideally for me, if you could get DeAndre Hopkins to restructure his contract, I'd want to get him here. I think that would be a realistic option.
That'd be great.
But who knows? But again, it's all what ifs. But Al, I think what it comes so you judging by the things that you said should happen to help Mac Jones, I don't think you put anywhere near the majority of the blame on Mac Jones this year for his for even his play, because his play, it's like the dude's getting bum rushed for like half the snaps he takes. Like that takes a toll on anybody.
The thing about Mac is a lot of people are so quick to criticize him for everything that's happened this year. I do think the one area he's regressed a little bit at times is pocket awareness at times. Mm-hmm. Again, not all the time, but at times, just having that pocket awareness, whether or not to take a sack, whether or not to throw the ball away, like that's stuff you got to start to kind of figure out in your second year. You don't have to have it 100%, but you got to start to get it more often than not. I think sometimes he's really regressed in that. But
up and down, it's up and down. Yeah. Exactly. So sometimes looks like he's progressed. Sometimes it's like all this, like Liam was saying, where he knows to jump out of the pocket, do whatever. But then sometimes it's like, dude, what? Like you're holding on to the ball for 5 seconds.
Just like get rid of the ball, or just take the sack and at least stay in field goal range. So that way you can, get points on the board. But that's, again, this season was doomed to fail as far as the offense is concerned back in training camp. When you're trying to run a whole new offense and then all of a sudden, like a month or month and a half into the season, you're scrapping it and trying to go back to things that you used to do. It's like, why didn't you just take what you did successfully in 2021, apply it to the quarterback that got you into that position, so that way he could have been better? And again, you don't have to go get a top tier like offensive coordinator, but get an offensive coordinator. Get someone that has done it before. Get a quarterbacks coach that's actually coached quarterbacks before. Don't give me this Matt Patricia and Joe Judge. Oh, they're football coaches, so they should know about
Patricia coached
football. Matt Stafford. Yeah. And how well did that experiment go?
Kind of okay.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's why he crawled back to New England. But again, you need to make sure that he's taken care of in year 3. Because I'm going to tell you something. If in year 3 he regresses more and he starts playing like crap because of everything going around him, I might start to be like, you know what? Maybe it could be time to move on. Because
that's a world I don't want to live in. I don't want to live in.
I know, I don't either. And I don't either.
You said it's because of outside factors, though. If the team isn't playing well and Mac Jones doesn't play good as a result, that's not his fault.
I will say this:
if the team, all the pieces in the system.
If the team looks or resembles anything like they did this year, Mac Jones is going to be the least of everybody's worries, because at that point, it's going to be what's going on with Belichick, what's going on with every single coach, what's going on with New England, the organization as a whole. It's going to be a nightmare if that happens. So I don't even want to play that game at all. But where do you guys stand? Because I saw, and I think we might have even texted about it, but I figured we'd bring it here real quick since we're talking about offensive coordinators. The idea that's been floated out there that the whole plan for this year for Belichick was to bring in Bill O'Brien. He wanted to finish his contract out in Alabama. No, not Alabama.
Yeah, he's in Alabama.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It was. I don't know why. For some reason, I always get that in Oklahoma mixed up. I'm not a big college guy, but just like in my head, they get mixed up. But so
two irrelevant states.
So Belichick wasn't going to tamper with that. So what did he want to do instead of bringing an outside guy in? And I saw this take only one place on Twitter, so it's really not being talked about that much because it's not like the cool thing to talk about. What if instead of bringing in a bunch of new guys to run stuff, he said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Going to bring in Joe Judge, going to bring in Patricia, guys who have been here before, technically in-house guys, even though they were gone for a little bit. So you wouldn't have to reteach them everything. They know some of the players. They know the tips of the tricks of the trade, all that stuff. And then next year is when he goes out there and gets Bill O'Brien. And I say Bill O'Brien as Bill O'Brien, because that was the plan all along. I'm not saying that's going to make this team go fucking 16-1, but I'm saying I think that seems like that was the plan, because I can't think of any other. It just seems like that's where we're going with the, reports out there and all that stuff. So
it makes sense.
What say you two?
Did you hear that somewhere, or is that something that you thought of personally?
So I thought about that a couple weeks ago, and then I saw on Twitter I don't even know who it was. I think it was just someone with like a couple hundred followers. So like no one big, no blue check mark, but they kind of said the same thing. They had like this long thread about it. And I was like, all right, so it's being talked about and thought about more. I am in no way, shape or form saying that I was the first one to think it, but I was at least I haven't seen it that much, if at all. So okay. I don't know.
I think if the Patriots had a really bad 2021, like if they weren't a playoff team, if they struggled and everything, I'd be like, okay, that does kind of make sense to give you a future plan. Excuse me. But I think because you had such a successful season and then you want to kind of build off of it and build back toward being a contender, I don't know if I buy that full. And it's not because of Bill O'Brien per se or Bill Belichick, but it's like, why would you want to regress just to try to get back to where you were in 2021 and then basically be a year behind schedule when you could have
wait. What do you mean?
Time.
What do you mean regress? Because maybe I didn't explain it right. What do you mean?
So regressing being like, okay, the offense was getting better in 2021 because in 2020 with Cam Newton, it was a terrible year. They had no talent.
I wouldn't say terrible.
Shut up, Liam.
It was
you motherfucker.
No, it truly wasn't terrible. Right. 7-9.
Al, yeah. So 2021. Yes. 2021.
So 2021, you come in, you have an offense that's not top 10, but at least the top half of the league. Mm-hmm. And you have a quarterback that is in place. You had a legit OC. Now I know he went to Vegas, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, why would you wait around for a year and risk the team going in a forward direction where it's like, okay, you went 10-7, you got smoked in the wild card. Your next goal should be, all right, 10-7 or 11-6, maybe win the wild card, get to the divisional round. But instead, you're like waiting for Bill O'Brien to come around, so you're willing to go backwards in 2022.
Okay,
just to kind of go back. Yeah.
It's a long-term move. Like I know what you're saying. It's kind of suspect, but
because I think the only reason I think that is because I feel like the plan was for, and like we don't know all like the intricacies of the conversation that happened or whatever, but I just feel like the plan was when McDaniels left, we're going to get Bill O'Brien in here. Maybe Belichick didn't really solidify that with Bill O'Brien. Clearly he didn't, whatever he thought it was. Then he said, okay, well, instead of, because what's he going to do? Because at that point, McDaniels is gone. Bill O'Brien at this point has said, hey, I'm going to finish out my contract. Let's just say he said, I'll come in 2023. Belichick's in kind of a shitty position. What's he going to do? He's not going to hire an offensive coordinator, like some good one or a name, because why would that person want to come here if Belichick can't promise them a long-term contract? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what he does, and it sucks because like you're in this weird thing, but it's just like a stopgap. It's one of those things where it's like, you know what? I'm going to bring in guys that I know. I feel comfortable with them. I don't think that they're going to completely destroy the fucking offense like they did, or not. Again, it's not all on them, but just they are the names being attached to it. So I think it was a plan that Belichick was forced into because of the Bill O'Brien situation, assuming he's coming in. Now, if he's not coming in, I have no fucking idea what this was all about. But assuming he is coming in, I think Belichick said, you know what, I'm going to try to make do with what I can, because Belichick, like I said, how many any offensive coordinators worth their name are going to come in if they're like, all right, yeah, I'm ready to go. And Belichick's like, cool, well, I just need you for 1 year. Because my plan is to have Bill O'Brien, because I kind of already have something going on with him.
Well, even if he didn't plan to have Bill O'Brien,
all he needed was a fuck buddy. That's all he needed.
Like, even if he didn't plan and diligently say like next year we'll have Bill O'Brien, like bringing in a name as a random offensive coordinator just to bring in somebody new, like when you wanted somebody else, even if he's not guaranteeing to hire Bill O'Brien in the next year, why would you build up with somebody else? And hey, maybe they're great, but if Bill didn't want him in the if they end up being great, then even still, Bill's like, like you're doing well, but I don't exactly trust you. I didn't really want you in the first place. If they suck, like then they're the scapegoat type deal. You know what you're saying? It kind of makes sense to me when you put it that way. But of course, like you said, if they don't hire Bill O'Brien, then we're like, "Ooh, this is bad. This is weird."
So if you wanted to hire in house, I understand that. Why not then just promote Nick Caley? Why not promote Nick Caley, who's a guy that's worked with offensive players and stuff before? I know he worked with like tight ends and everything, but he's a guy that at least he worked with McDaniels a little bit, so it would be kind of similar concepts.
I thought Patricia was a head coach. It's not like he never worked with offensive players ever.
So
yeah, but he's never been. Sorry, Mike. Just one sec. He hasn't been an offensive, but he's never been an offensive coordinator. Head coach, I understand you're taking kind of everything, but he never had a season, Liam, where he was like, okay, I'm just focusing on the offense. I'm just focusing on what needs to be offensively schemed up for each week.
Yeah, that's but you're where barely focused on the offense. If you're just coaching the tight ends, you're coaching depth in specific plays. But you don't control the plays. You're just telling them to run them.
But you also keep going. So here's the thing, Liam. You also keep going back to the fact that Patricia was a head coach. Great. Josh McDaniels was a head coach in Denver. And then, and then look what happened. He did so bad. He had to go back to the Patriots. He had to go back to the Patriots, back into a role where he's comfortable to finally get a shot to coach the Colts, takes the job, then resigns from the job, comes back to New England for a couple more years, then finally takes the Raiders job. How many years in between did that take? At least probably like 8 or 9.
I don't love the guy. In his defense, he had Smokin' Sigs, Jay Cutler, and Kyle Orton as quarterbacks in Denver. Tell me, what are you going to do with that?
Listen, I don't want a guy that finished 13-29-1 in his 3 years in Detroit with Matt Stafford, with a guy that, could be, people are arguing, a borderline Hall of Famer.
Detroit's football hell.
It is, but he still chose to go there. He still chose to take the job. And guess what?
He chose to take the money.
His best season was his first season when they went 6-10 in 2018.
Yep.
And by the way, remember that year? His first win was against the Patriots.
Yeah, so Amendola killed us.
So again, right? So again, Matt Patricia, he was a head coach. He was a very good defensive coordinator. I can give him that. But it goes back to he never, ever, ever was a legit offensive coordinator. So when you put that into the system because you're like, you know what? He's a football coach. He's a guy that's just known football, and he's going to make this work. Obviously, it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked for 15 games. I'm not going to say 15. I'll say like 12 or 13 because he had 1 or 2 games where they had some decent points.
Yeah.
Like the Browns, the Vikings. I can give that. That's fine. But again, why is it a situation that now we're realizing, oh, shoot, we should have probably had a legit guy in here because now we have a second-year quarterback that's getting frustrated. We have a second-year quarterback that did really well in 2021. Why is he struggling in 2022? And part of that, not all of it, but part of it is because of the guy that is responsible for helping him go to the next level as an NFL quarterback, and that's Matt Patricia.
Yeah. So I think to go back to the question you asked, why didn't Nick Caley go in there? You got to look at it from that point of view where what's Belichick, how appealing is that to Nick Caley to say, hey, buddy, so this is what I need. I need you to run the offense, come up. I'm not going to name you the offensive coordinator, but I need you to run the offense. You're going to get a lot of flack, a lot of stuff because, being an offensive coordinator, if things go wrong, you're going to get the shit for it. But the next year, I'm going to need you to go back to coaching tight ends because, as you know, I'm bringing in Bill O'Brien. That's a hard sell. And then you got to think of it from Belichick's point of view. I'm going to bring you up. What happens if your name all of a sudden gets sprinkled out there and then you get poached by another team because right now Nick Caley's name really, other than it's not out there as much as it would be as if he was the de facto offensive coordinator. I just think that's why I wouldn't expect Belichick to ask that of this coach, and I wouldn't expect Nick Caley to want to do that, because that's like one of those things where it's like, so what, I'm like your substitute teacher till you come back from fucking vacation in Sandals, Jamaica. Like, I don't know.
The Patriots do
like,
it.
Would it have been? Would it have been good? No, they've never done that with coaches though. Bring them up and then throw them back down. It's just structure. It's a shitty. Very clearly, it is a shitty situation. It's a shitty offense. I think Belichick had a plan. There was some sand in the gears and things got stuck. And I feel like Belichick just went with what he thought would work. Talking to Patricia was a head coach. So even though he wasn't working directly in the offense, he was exposed to it for years. So, and he was also like a special, like a special advisor in 2021 too, for a little bit. So he was already in-house. Belichick they sat down. They were like, listen, we're going to kind of revamp an offense here. We're going to do some things. What ideas do you have? Belichick liked the ideas, obviously. And things just didn't work out. I think it just comes down to Belichick made a choice, made a decision in a tough situation, whether it was self-imposed or not. And it just didn't work. It's clearly not working. And again, we'll see if Bill O'Brien does not come here and there never was a grand plan, then I will come on here and say and roast Belichick, because otherwise it doesn't make sense to me. Like how did this happen? Yeah. Right. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. So I don't know. I hope Bill O'Brien comes here. If not Bill O'Brien, get an actual offensive coordinator, because it might not even be Bill O'Brien. It might be Bill was trying to get other people in. Timelines didn't add up. And he was like, well, shit, I need a quick thing.
If we're talking crazy, ludicrous, hypothetical scenarios, even though I don't think he'd settle for anything less than a head coaching job.
Ooh, who?
Bringing in Sean Payton would be awesome.
I knew you were going to say Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Belichick and Sean Payton ruining the NFL? Goodell's worst nightmare.
He's going back to New Orleans. It's the worst kept secret. He's going back to New Orleans.
100%, as he should. And like, if he went anywhere else, I'd probably hate him. But just imagine, it's just fun to think about. It
would be fun. It's fun. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. But okay, I have nothing else about this game. This game sucked. Cool little fucking tease at the end, little blue balls at the end there. I have nothing else. I'm kind of ready to move on, wrap this up, unless you guys have any parting words about this game that you didn't get out when we were talking about
Miami.
We're on to Miami. We are literally on to Miami. The season is pretty much in the balance. There is a way. Actually, no, they have to win in Miami. There is a way if they win here, they don't technically have to beat the Bills, but a lot of things have to happen. The Jets have to lose this week. There's a lot of shit. So you got to win in Miami. Tua is out. That is huge. That is huge. And if you motherfuckers aren't optimistic about this team going into this Miami game, strictly because Tua is out, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might just be mad online about it. So I am very pumped about the Patriots. Teddy Bridgewater is not beating this defense. I'm sorry. And I know we said that about fucking quarterback X or whatever, but this is Teddy Two Gloves. Okay. This is Teddy Two Gloves. He is not
Teddy H2O under the overpass.
He come on. What are we? And even if Marcus Jones is not playing, I still just do not see the Dolphins with Teddy Bridgewater beating the Patriots. It would be, in looking at this team, how it is, the Patriots should lose to Miami, because that's how this team should lose. Tua's out. Hopes are high. Everybody's like, oh my God, we got a chance. And they fucking lose to Teddy Bridgewater. But I can't, I see the misery coming. If the misery is going to come, I see it in a curb stomping by the Bills in the last week of the year. I don't think it happens this weekend. I am very high on this team right now. And if the Patriots make the playoffs, look the fuck out, because they are the team that nobody wants to play. But they'll say that they want to play them, but nobody wants to play Bill Belichick and Matthew Judon and Devin McCourty and Adrian Phillips and Christian motherfucking Barmore in the playoffs. And Ramondre
all
Stevenson.
Defensive players. Okay.
that's why I said Aaron Ramondre Stevenson. No one wants to play, and God forbid Kendrick Bourne gets a couple balls thrown his way. Look out, guys. And if Devontae Parker is back, guys, we're going to the Super Bowl. So I'm very high on this team. I do think they pull out the win because they have to. Because they have to. They have to win this game. Tua being out, if Tua was in, I would still say that the Patriots are going to win, but I would not be meaning it. It would be all just podcast Mike. This is real Mike. The Patriots are going to win this game. It is as simple as that. Tua is not playing. I have to say it 8 times because I'm also trying to reconvince myself as I'm talking about it. But just Teddy Bridgewater, I mean, I can see him throwing 2-3 picks. I mean, I know Tyreek Hill is here. Tyreek Hill had 94 yards last game or last time he played the Patriots, kind of inconsequential yards, except for I think there was like one big one there. But I don't know. I'm high on them. I think they pull it out. Don't give a shit who does what, anything. This team doesn't deserve a game breaker. They're not going to get one. I already know you fucking glass half empty motherfuckers are going to say, but speak on the Miami game for a little bit before we go.
All right, let me take the reins here, Al.
I was going to let you anyway.
There we go. Beauty. Run the horse into the ground because that's what you want to do.
I also think they should win. Teddy Bridgewater. Well, I like him. Seems like a cool dude. Teddy Two Gloves. He's not that good. This defense should just assault him.
Mm-hmm.
I usually believe that divisions, you split against good teams in the division unless you're playing the Jets. Then you always sweep the Jets. That's just the rule of nature.
Yep.
So, I really think they should win this game. But, the last 2 games, I just can't help but think it's going to end terribly. Like, I feel like it's going to come down to, like, us kicking a field goal, and they're going to catch the missed field goal and run it back 109 yards for a touchdown. Like,
don't put that out there.
I'm truly worried about how they're going to fuck this up at the end of the game. In fact, I'm worried to watch this game. I would much rather, in my next life, come back as one of Michael Vick's dogs than sit through another game where they destroy my hopes and dreams after giving me hope. And I am just not sure if I'm prepared for it. It's going to be tough. I'll probably watch everything up until the 4th quarter, then cower under my blanket and cry and wait for the text to come in from you guys to let me know if they won or not.
Like it's a scary movie.
Yeah, like they're like Jason Voorhees is on the main floor of my house and I'm upstairs waiting for him to hack me up into small bits and drag me out the back in a trash bag.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, all signs point to this should be a win. Still trust Bill Belichick. So no Patriots, but goddamn, if they lose, you're gonna find me dangling from the ceiling fan.
What's your final score prediction?
Oh Christ! I mean, like I said, it's either something disastrous where they win by 4 points on some dumbass pick 6 or something to lose the game, or we win 24-14. Honestly, 25-7.
Boring.
I don't think Teddy Bridgewater is really going to put up that many points. But hell, like I said, we could lose 10-7. Yeah, we could lose 10-7 and
that's
some
the thing.
Dumbass
if you
shit.
Just put us out on the field, we might still lose because we'll just beat ourselves. Like if you put 100%. Patriots against the Patriots are going to lose every outcome.
Yeah, it'll be a tie.
Yeah. Oh my God. So you're picking the Patriots, even though begrudgingly you are picking the Patriots.
Because I know it's going to be like watching, a cartel member decapitate somebody in my family on TV. It's going to be a brutal watch.
Al, bring us down.
Yep.
It's really just me because Liam is very much down. He's just he is reaching his hand out of the dirt in the grave just for one last pull me out. But he is still very much down in the dumps with you. I am the one whistling through the graveyard, quite literally.
You are? You are?
Al, what do you think?
So I think it's going to come down to a couple things. I think first of all, what nobody talks about is Miami's running game, especially with Jeff Wilson Jr. And correct me if I'm wrong, Raheem Mostert's on that team too, if I'm not mistaken.
He
right?
is. Guy Fox.
Okay, so their running backs are decent, but I think the Patriots defensive line is good enough to keep the Miami running game in check, especially if Barmore gets going and Lawrence Guy, Devon Godchow, obviously Judon and Uche and everything else. I think that the Patriots can keep the Miami running game in check. Where I have the issues is the two receivers, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Now, they're small. They're both only 5'10". Now, here's the thing. Ordinarily, if the Patriots were healthy, I'd be like, okay, the corners, I think, have a good chance here. But you're going into that game potentially without Jalen Mills, Jack Jones, and potentially Marcus Jones now. He has a concussion. He might not play on Sunday. So if those three guys are out, you're going to have Jonathan Jones probably covering Tyreek Hill would be my bet, with something like McCourty or Phillips Shading, similar to the 2018 AFC Championship game when Hill was with Kansas City. But then who's going to cover Jalen Waddle? Miles Bryant? Like, who are you going to have cover him? That's my whole thing.
This is Devin McCourty's last meaningful game. I will put him back at corner if I have to.
Like, I would almost rather that and have Phillips play safety, or have Phillips play like a corner position. You're probably going to see Sean Wade in there for a little bit too.
God.
So exactly. So that's my concern. And with the way this Patriots team shoots themselves in the foot offensively, I think it's going to be close. But I got Miami winning this game 21-17. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be it's comfy and I'm cold. I think it's going to be a close game. I think they're going to keep it competitive, but I think they're just going to find a way to once again shoot themselves in the foot and just drop another one and just shatter our hearts even more. Now, I hope I'm wrong and I eat shit for it. I really do. But I don't know.
I want to clip your nuts so bad right now, but I can't. The Patriots have given me no ground to stand on. You very well may be right. Like, they may, Liam, you made a joke that they're going to kick the ball and the Dolphins are going to pick it.
If that's how it ends, oh God.
They might go to kick it and Nick Folk trips and one of the defenders literally grabs the ball right from the placeholder and just runs down. And then they, in some sick twisted thing, they lateral the ball 100 times, but like we miss it. I don't know. Or like we catch it, then fumble it again. I could see a world where that happens. I choose to live in the world where the Patriots win this game 23-12. Yeah, weird score, 23-12. I think there's a missed extra point.
Might as well go for another unprecedented final score.
Why not? Maybe they go for 2 at one point, then kick a field goal. Who knows? Or no, that still won't get them there, but who knows? Who knows what they do? But I just season's on the line. Season is on the line. This is going to be a heavy stress, a heavy drinking game. This is not going to be fun at all. Oh, this fucking game is on New Year's Day too. So you know what the worst part about this is? We are all going to be hungover, tired from New Year's Eve. New Year's Day, Sunday. That's January 1st, baby.
Is it a 1 o'clock game?
No, they kept it a 1 o'clock game. Oh fuck, that makes everything worse. Oh my God, people are going to be throwing up watching the game and because they're drinking. Oh God,
I was going to go to bed at 1. That sucks.
And it's going to be a new year. So now it's like,
new year, new me.
Be a better,
New year, new me. You know, if the Patriots win this game, you will get a tweet, or no, when the Patriots win this game, you're going to get a tweet from Tuck Rule Takes, new year, new me. Nice picture of Mac Jones grabbing an ankle, maybe even kicking some Bears guy in the dick because he's the dirtiest player in the league.
I saw that. Did you see that from whatever that fucking...
Yeah, like honestly, and the whole slide thing with Mac Jones, just to really transition before we dip out, Mac Jones sliding with his foot up. There's videos of all quarterbacks doing that. There's
also videos of all quarterbacks getting bodied when they slide.
Exactly. The Brian Burns thing, we've talked about that ad nauseum. That's not dirty. And then like the block that he threw on Eli Apple. I get what he's saying. If players want to call that dirty or whatever, it is what it is. Mac Jones is not a dirty player.
It's Eli Apple. I would have done much worse. He's awful.
God, I don't.
If anything, Mac Jones did the league a favor. Get that dude off the field. He's awful. Just awful.
It's dumb. But yeah, if the Patriots win, next week's episode is going to be New Year, New Me. It's going to be awesome. We're going to come in here, guns blazing, everybody's happy. If the Patriots lose, Al, you will not be back. Because you will be
You'll be cut.
Yeah.
Much
we're gonna
like
to,
Jacoby Myers is going to be after the season.
We're gonna have to Jonas Gray you and just say, listen, man, you put up some big, you put up some.
You had
stats
a good
for
performance,
us, but your time's come. Your time is come.
Understandable. I completely understand the move.
Good.
Al's like, I'll resign. Don't even bother.
He's like, I'm out. Well,
he's gonna pull a Richard Nixon, slide out the back door.
I'm gonna be Tyreek Hill to receivers. Just give the peace sign and say, see ya.
Tyreek Hill, over under 80 yards receiving. Real quick, guys.
Over.
Under.
Motherfucker under. I don't think Tyreek Hill, the Patriots are going to put a clamp on him. Jalen Waddle is going to have a big game. And then it's all going to be Mac Jones. So we'll see. We'll see. The next time you see us, it'll be 2023. God, please, after a Patriots win, I'm not ready for this season to be over yet. Because it's not over, even though you guys said it was last game. So piss off. Patriots over Miami. Here we go. For Big Al, Liam McDade, I'm Mike Sullivan. Just go Patriots.
Just win, baby.
Just win, baby, win. Just win,
win.
baby, win.
Just win.
We're out.